welcome to this very special interview for TeamBea. I'm very, very excited to be answering questions from Bronagh from Handwritten Girl. Thanks very much, Bronagh, for your great questions. And actually, if you read I'll Take New York, you'll see a character that was inspired by Bronagh, a very, very special character who Bea meets in her bookshop. So you'll see that in the novel. So I've got some great questions. Here we go. So first question, I love this. If you were to start a book club, which authors would you ask to join? Now that is brilliant, because I'm hoping that this means that I can have like fantasy authors as well, not just people that I know. So I'm kind of working on that, like people that I know and people that I quite like to know. So first person I'd invite would be Neil Gaiman, because I am a huge fan of his. I just love everything that he does, and I think he'd be very good at sort of discussing. I think that we'd have lots of great kind of surreal conversations in the book club if he was there, and also I think that he'd probably quite like the wine. So there we go. So he's my first one. My second one is Julie Cohen, the author of the brilliant Dear Thing and Where Love Lies. She's a Richard and Judy chosen author this year. She's a brilliant friend, and what she doesn't know about books isn't worth knowing. She always gets such a great insight into stories, and when we're talking about books that we've read, I'm always amazed at what she can get from somebody else's story. So I'd love to have her there, because I think she'd have a real insight into the books we were reading. Next person is Sarah Addison Allen, who is my all-time favourite author. If I had to just pick one to read forever, I would pick her books, because I love them. They're so magical and romantic and different, and they don't fit the mould. I love her because she doesn't feel constrained by moulds. So I'd want her there, because I think she'd have a completely different view on the books and be able to see things again that perhaps I couldn't see. And the last person I choose is the very lovely Cathy Bramley, who's become a really, really good friend over the last couple of years, and she's doing great guns. She's doing amazing books, amazing serials. She's done the Ivy Lane. She's just bringing out a new series now. And I love her because she's so excited about books. She just loves reading and she loves writing, and I think her enthusiasm would be infectious. So there we go. So that's the answer to that question. Next question, what career would I have chosen if I wasn't a writer? Well, I kind of always wanted to be a writer. First thing I ever wanted to be when I was 3, I wanted to be a fairy. So you could say writing's my fallback career, but in terms of an actual career that I would have loved to have done, I would have been an actress, because I actually studied drama at university and had every single ambition all the way through school and college and university to go into acting, and it just didn't happen. I went to one audition and didn't get it, and it knocked my confidence. So I think that's probably why I ended up becoming a writer, because I think you sort of write the movies that you can star in, and I'm still living hope that one day, if my books get made into a movie, that I'll be, I'll have a cameo role, which would be amazing. Wouldn't that be great? Maybe with Benedict Cumberbatch, maybe with, yeah, I could think about those kind of things. But yeah, I think if I could write myself into a movie, that would be great. So I would love to have been an actress. Next question. Your stories are very topical. Would you say you are influenced by current affairs? I try not to be too specific when I'm writing my books, because I want them to still be enjoyed in 10 years' time. And if you're writing about something now that's very current, that could be old news very, very quickly. So I tend to write about life experiences that people might be feeling. So for example, in Take a Look at Me Now, my last book, Nell loses her job, and we're in a very uncertain sort of economic situation at the moment, and lots of people are scared of losing their jobs, and I think that's kind of a perennial thing. I don't think that's going to go out of fashion. So it's more kind of life experiences that everybody would have. I do like to have trends. In my day job that I finally quit in September last year, I was a trend analyst, and so I used to look at the food that we're going to eat in the next 5 years, and the reasons that we go shopping and what we're looking for and what we're doing. And so certainly from the point of view of food, I do try to bring some of that in, the kind of things that people are looking for. But again, it's more about experience rather than sort of current news and current affairs. I think I'd be careful of putting too much of that in, because I'd like my stories to last beyond a couple of years. So I hope that answers your question. And my final question is, do I have any new and exciting projects on the horizon? Well, I do. I've just finished writing book 7. It's going to be my first book for Pan Macmillan, who are my new publishers from next year, and it's going to be called A Parcel for Anna Brown. I'm very, very pleased with it. It's a step on from what I've been doing. Still lots of laughs, lots of tears. I think you're going to like it. So that's actually being read now, and we'll edit it next year. So I'm pleased that I've got it written and that it's done. So I'm starting to kind of dream up ideas for book 8, which won't be out till 2016. So I'm thinking of that. I'm also doing NaNoWriMo this year. NaNoWriMo, I don't know, National Novel Writing Month. And I'm doing a comedy novel. I've started doing my comedy novels under the name of Ellis Parker. So you can follow me at Ellis Parker Book on Twitter and find out all the crazy stuff that I'm writing. That's where all the wombats and the tea ladies and the zombies are living. So my book for NaNoWriMo this year is Elvis versus the End of the World, and it's basically that the apocalypse happens in the middle of an Elvis convention, and all these Elvis impersonators are the only sort of mankind's only hope against demon killer zombies that infest the earth. And I'm going to have fun writing that in November. I think I need to get back to just writing for fun and not having that much of a deadline. I think it's important to keep me sharp as a writer. I have a couple of other projects which I can't tell you about, but I'm working on them in a very, very different style. Again, it would probably be under a different name if anything happened with them, but at the moment I'm just doing it to sort of dare myself to see if I can write it. So there we go. Thank you so much for your questions. I hope you enjoyed them. Come and say hello to me. I'm on Twitter at Wordsmith. I'm also on Facebook at Miranda Dickinson Author. Come and say hello, and I'll Take New York hits the shops on the 4th of December this year. If you've got any questions about it, ask me. It would be great to speak to you. Thanks very much for watching. Bye.